Welcome to this week's Quick Charge, where we continue to celebrate the Christmas season. The story of the wise men is not just part of the Christmas narrative. It also provides for us the fundamental life truths, the very mysteries or the hidden truths of God. Another such mystery is this: there's a good king and a bad king. The bad king fears the good king and does not want me to worship him. If I take counsel from the bad king, he will deceive me and ruin my journey. There are only two kings, and we're either serving one or the other. We only have two choices. But the bad king is a good liar, and he's so good that he fooled the wise men who thought that they were on a mission of good and that they were actually doing right. These wise men never suspected anything. There was no hint of suspicion or reservation, no hesitation. They ended up being deceived simply by sitting in the counsel of the bad king, who fully intended to use them and then utterly ruin their journey. Which king are you actually listening to and receiving counsel from? Yet another mystery. Religion serves in the court of the bad king, and it cannot lead me to the good king. It cannot recognize or discern the heavenly signs. The most informed religious leaders and scholars could not recognize the signs of the coming king, nor could they recognize Jesus for who he was when he was among them. Those who supposedly knew the most couldn't discern or see the least. Jesus called them blind leaders of the blind. They never bowed before him. So my own religious ways and works will not help me find my way to Jesus the King. Religious efforts are really an unfortunate and dangerous substitute for a true relationship with King Jesus. Still another mystery. Because the journey is inherently difficult and sometimes painful, it is not meant to be taken alone. Persevering to the end enables me to behold my King. There was more than one Magi because we're supposed to journey together. Solomon described a great folly in saying, "There is one alone and not another." God sets the solitary in family. The journey of life by divine design requires support, fellowship, connection, family. It also requires patience and endurance and perseverance and forbearance and even mercy. The end of the journey is actually seeing the King, and the King then seeing his reflection, his image in me. God's promise to us is always that the end is greater, it's grander, it's bigger and better and higher. So no matter what it may seem now or be now, the end in God is better. The King's image comes forth in me as I endure to the end. And one last mystery. My journey is always meant to result in worship. The true end to every journey is worship. Until I can worship, my journey is not complete. Worship is part of the journey. It's an indicator. It's a sign of completion. God's end is always worship. We see that in eternity. Giving thanks and honoring God shows that I've come all the way through. If I'm still in anger or bitterness or resentment or unforgiveness or pain or sorrow or hurt, it just simply indicates I haven't come all the way through yet. I'm still in the midst of the mire, in the hole, in the snare, in the ditch. Worship allows me to move on, to continue my journey rather than being stuck and mired and crystallized. Worship affords me the grace to go on, to move on, and to finish. The Magi received more than enough to continue their journey as they bowed and worshiped before the King. Stay tuned next week for the final Christmas mysteries as we finish on Epiphany, the Three Kings Day. God bless you.